Good morning. Good morning. Hope you're well. Now, this is one of my favourite spots in Victoria, and every time I come here it's slightly different, but we've had a really I'm not sure whether this is blinding you or not. I don't think I need it. A really blinding summer, very little rain, and the upshot of that is that there's probably another 50-60 metres of bank that's exposed, and my expectation this morning was to come out and photograph the trees that are in this water, but using my 32-64 and my 100-200, to zoom in. But I've got my 20-35 on, and that's because I can walk right the way up to the trees that are normally, 100 metres or so off the shore, which is amazing because it'll give us a different perspective to be able to use the wide angle in this way, so close to them. So I suppose we better jump in and make a start while we can. Right, okay. I'm going to have to employ a couple of little tricks here that I've done consistently, the main go-to tricks. My first one is, as normal, I'm going to go to shutter priority, and shutter priority should allow me to gain focus. Yeah, there it is, on those trees. I'm going to zooming out's quite nice. I'll zoom in for the time being, and I'm going to punch in a little bit just to make sure there is a single branch that needs to be separate from the others. And I think it is. It's sort of in the middle. So now that I've got my focus, and I think, is it just, I think we're okay there. We're going to do our 6400 rule, so I'm going to come up to 6400. I'm going to go back to manual first of all. Now that we've gained focus, I'm going to go up to 6400, and we don't want F20. I'm usually around F16, but I can actually go lower, so I'm going to go to F14 or even F13. All the trees were in a single plane, so I've got no issues with depth of field. And so with this, at 6400, I can work out now how many seconds it will take to get a well exposed image, and it's looking like maybe 4 seconds may do it. That's looking at the histogram. The histogram is just a little dark, so I'll show you that. See, it's bunched over to the right hand side, so 6400 may be a little dark. If I push it down to say 11, doesn't really shift much. That's giving more light. But let's come back. Let's give 11 seconds a go, and I don't mind the ambient light off you just for this test shot. Let's give that a 4-second shot. And let's have a little look at that. And that's well exposed, as you can see. There is a nice red glow out there. So ISO 100, that will give me 4 minutes. So let's pull down our ISO back to, I'll do it to 100 for this time being. 100, we know this has to go up to 4 minutes. And I'll just give it a little pop of ISO to 160 should do us. I'm going to have to switch you off. Your light, that is. There we go. And 4 minutes, go. It's always good to get the first one in the bag. You can relax then. What I'm grateful for, I'm always grateful to be out, as you know, but I'm grateful for that tiny little slither of cloud that's out there for two reasons. First, that we've got some cloud, because that's it. That what you see there, everything else is completely clear sky. And two, that it looks fairly low, but there is a gap at the bottom of it, so hopefully we might get a little bit of colour later on. But hey, just being out is, you know, is good enough. And this morning, I suppose the benefit of this morning and what comes to mind for me is that every time you return to a location, it's different. This one is, you know, I would never get to these trees, not this close, not use a wide angle, which gives a different perspective to the telephoto and the longer focal length lenses that I've got. As I said, normally I'm about 60 meters up back that way. So yeah, be grateful for what you get, I suppose. All right, let's shift along and we'll see what we can get along this bank. On. Okay, I think I may get a little bit closer to the water for this one, actually. I'm going to take my jacket off. It's getting a bit warm. Say it's warm, it's 12 degrees. So this is a little tree that I've named Medusa, mainly because to my eye it looks like it's got a little bit of a face there. So, okay, how are we going to do this? I think I've got to get in a touch closer. And I do quite like this bit of a leading line of these little rocks coming in. But it's about making sure that we get the angle. I may need to move slightly further this way. There we go, that's something along the lines that I wanted. Something like that, with that little bit of rock leading us in. Now we certainly don't need 2 minutes. I'm going to come ISO down. I'm going to go to ISO 50. That's looking like it's around 40 seconds for us. I'm going to go with that. I think we will have to focus stack. So I'm just going to focus. What I might actually do is I want a greater depth of field slightly. So I'm going to come up a bit, make the aperture smaller, f16. Let's see if we've got focus. Yeah, we got focus. So I'm just going to take that. There we go. I'm then going to take one of the tree, our Medusa, and then I'll combine those two together. 40 seconds should remove most of that ripples that you can see across this little bit of a bank. But that's it. If that all works out, then I'll pop that one up. I think I said in a recent video that I had, a favourite root system and a second favourite root system. You probably would have seen the first. Apologies, I'm out of breath. I just run up this slight incline. You probably would have seen that favourite root system. And this one, believe it or not, is my second favourite root system. As you can see, it doesn't look very special at all. The last time I was here, these were in water. So you can see what the drought's done, what the summer's done, and given us all this extra bank. Has drawn us closer to those trees, but yeah, it has. That's significantly dropped the level of the water. And to show you what I mean about the, this little root system and how it can be photographed, I'll pop up my favourite shot of it now. And tell me what you think. So I think you can tell by the light that it's rising sharply now, and yep, indeed it is. So we're just gonna have a little look-see and see what we can create here. Okay. I wasn't sure whether I wanted any other trees in, but that's not too bad to my eye. What I am going to do, I'm just going to isolate these two with those two in the background first of all. So let me just, might have to do some slight cloning, but I'll move slightly to the right. Haven't learnt my lessons of being careful on the rocks, of course. I think we might just be okay. Okay, let me just level that, pull it this way, and there you go. Now we've got it. Just that little touch to one side was enough, and you can see that light coming in very strong from the left, so the sun is rising. So let's come all the way down so that we can see that. But wow, that could be the, and it was, the effect of that polarizer. So you can see that very dark vignette, and if I spin it round, it's gone. So I'm much happier with that now. I'm going to pop on my filter system. It may not need a grad, I'm just going to test it. That sun is going to pop up very shortly. Let's focus in on our tree and making sure that that branch on the left is above the bank. Apart from that, I think we're pretty much good to go. It says 2.5 seconds. Maybe see if we can go a touch longer. Let's try 3. Try 3. along a couple of feet. See if it'll give me a perspective to shoot back. Let's see if we... No, I don't think we're quite wide enough. Let's have a little look. So I'm going to do a two-shot panorama. Focus on that first tree. 20 seconds. In fact, I'm going to lock the focus for this, should I? I'll lock the focus for this. So let's get that. And then we'll rotate it about 1/3 of a frame, and I should be able to get the remainder of those trees in, hopefully. There may be a slight issue with parallax here because I'm turning the camera and these are going to go towards the edge of the screen, the edge of the frame, and they may exaggerate a bit much, so I'll take a chance. Yeah, I've got to keep one in at least. I'm going to keep it like this. Let's take that one. There we go. And if you notice that green horizon line was level throughout, just makes it a little easier for the software to stitch together. Thank you for joining me here at, well, it's an odd thing, this one, because it's called Lake Taylor. I'll double check this because I always get it the wrong way around. It's called Lake Taylor when you come in, but it's Taylor Lakes on Google, or the other way around. But I'll pop up here which is which, because sometimes if you put it in Google and you're in Victoria, it takes you to a city, or well, a little town called Taylor Lakes. So you just got to be a little careful with your Google. But yes, listen, if you like what you see today, then please consider liking and subscribing. Subscribing really does help with sharing my content. If you don't like it, there's no obligation. I would just appreciate it greatly. But yes, I'm not sure which of the images today I'll be offering as a free wallpaper. If you fancy the look and you've seen any of the images and you thought that might look good on my phone, then please go to ziabalela.com and download. There's a multitude of them there. I think there's about 7 or 8 now. So from every shoot that I have, I try and find an image that I think will work as a wallpaper, and I pop it down as a free download for you to enjoy. If you do, then please and thank you. But yes, from Rafi, a very, very wet Rafi and I, thank you for joining us here at this, I'll call it Taylor Lakes. I think it's Lake Taylor there, but Taylor Lakes for now. Yes, we've had a ball. I think every morning that you're out and about is great. And if your love of photography gets you out of bed as early as I do, then well done. For those who like to sleep in, there's always sunset. So thanks for joining Rafi and I. All it leaves me to say is please look after yourself, look after your loved ones. Until next time, see ya.